Want to kill 99.9% of contagions in commercial and residential spaces without creating ozone? Check out the Air Shield by Revive Air. Thank you, Revive Air, for supporting the HVA-Chicks radio show. 207customs.com is your hub for all your HVA-Chicks merch needs. If you guys are looking for a hat, a shirt with the HVA-Chicks logo, a tumbler, HVA-Chicks radio show, you name it, it's on 207customs.com. Use code HVAC10 at checkout. If you're looking for quality, high-performance HVAC installation and service, reach out to Abraham Heating and Air. You can go to their website at abrahamheatingandair.com and book an appointment online. They are one of the best companies out there. They fully support HVA-Chicks Coalition and the HVA-Chicks radio show, and they are truly the place where quality meets comfort.
Hey, hey, hey.
What's up?
We did it, damn it. I thought you were pushing the go live button. How is everybody tonight?
Happy Saturday.
I'm going to swap over. Go ahead, Danny. What'd you say?
I said happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Yes. Hi, Josh Abraham. So tonight's going to be a little bit funky. As always, we bring the razzle dazzle around here. So we have some awesome guests we're going to bring on in just a minute, but I got to show you guys something really, really cool. So as you all know, we have 18 companies. We just landed our 19th, actually, who you guys will meet in a couple of, you need power. Sorry, guys. Josh just threw me for a loop. Josh, why don't you have power? Hi, Oz. And Oz, thank you so much for nominating me for the ACHR Top Women in HVAC Award. I actually got it, and that's all thanks to you, buddy. So thank you. All right. So I got to show you guys something. We landed our 19th company, who you guys will meet in 2 weeks. But our 18th company sent a present because they want to try to see if influencer marketing is for them. So this is the newest tool that I'm going to be debuting, that I'm going to be doing a bunch of content on, basically. And you guys all know this company. Let's give it up for Testo. Woo! Thanks, Testo. So Testo sent me this dope Vito bag. First of all, it's a Testo Vito. Can you believe that? It's the MB3. Big ups to Vito. Just got acquired by Malco, which is also one of our companies. Very cool. But this is the MB3. I'm going to show you guys what's inside because this is a brand new tool from Testo. So first they sent me, ooh, that was loud. Sorry, guys. Okay, so first they sent me the OG. So this is the OG Testo 605i. This is a thermal imager, and it accurately measures relative humidity. Oh no, this is not the thermal imager. This is the airflow tester. So this is the one that it measures relative humidity, temperature in ducts, in room, and chambers. It automatically calculates dew point and wet bulb, and it has a bendable tip and magnet for easy duct measurement. So this is the OG. This one you need at every single job site. And if you don't have one, even if it's not Testo, but especially if it's Testo, go get one. Go get one of these. You need one. So they sent me that because that is going to go along with this bad boy. So next we have the Testo 860i, which is their new thermal imager, you guys. It's so awesome. So I'm going to show you these stills that they put on the back. This is a really good thermal imager, and it's not just because it's highly sensitive and works really well. The best thing that they have about this, so I'm working, those of you who don't know, I'm working on a site that I will talk about in a little while, but basically it has a severe air dump somewhere, and I have not been able to find it. So I'm going to take the thermal imager to it. And yes, go get one at TrueTechTools.com. Thanks, TrueTech Tools. We're going to use this to try to put it up under it's a Schiavi home. So it's basically two mobile homes that are built off-site, smashed together, tied together with the ductwork, and then delivered to the site. Well, this one is 20 years old or more, 20 plus years old, and nobody ever realized there was no ducts hooked up from one side of the building to the other. So they've gone the whole time this home has been built with no air. Luckily, it's an office, but we're going to take this bad boy in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to check the bladder up under. So we don't have to rip down all the insulation, rip down the entire underbelly bladder. We're going to take this to it and I'm going to show you guys. But the coolest feature about this is what Testo was telling me the other day, which is has one thermal imager mode, right? It has a thermal imager mode where hot is red, right? And it gets cooler from there, all the different colors. But it has another feature, which is a growth risk mode. So basically you can point it throughout a room and it will tell you in red where the highest risk of growth is going to be. So where are the most humid spots? Where are the spots where mold could fester very, very easily? All these things. So 2 modes, 2 tools in one. And this is cheaper than the FLIR, cheaper than the HIC Micro, and it's Testo. So we trust it already, right? But I'm going to show you guys exactly how it works in the field. And y'all know people don't come to me unless they want me to be honest, because I'm going to be honest. But yeah, thank you, Testo, so much. I'm excited to make some content with you. And you guys, as always, the more of the content that you share of the companies that we land, all of the influencer money goes into either HVA-Chicks Coalition, into our tool account, or goes to random events, you know, bringing people to events, signing them up for scholarships, all these things that we have to do in order to keep HVA-Chicks running. So the more times you share these videos, it costs nothing, but it does wonders for this coalition. So always support our companies, okay? Thank you, Testo. All right, moving on. Now that all of our bills are paid, Danny, can you go ahead and introduce our guests tonight?
We have Les Reinhardt and John Carlson from FMhero.
Woo-woo. Let's bring them on.
Here we are.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, boy.
How's it going?
How's it going? How's it going?
Good, good.
We are
Thanks for
so
having us on
happy
the
to have you.
coalition.
We are
So
happy to have you.
we love FMhero, as everybody knows. Like, it's not a secret. We've been doing this a while now. But for those of you who may be living under a rock or maybe are new to the coalition, can you explain who you are individually, first of all? So we'll start with you, Les, and then John will go to you.
Yeah. Les Reinhardt. I was one of the founders back in 2002 of Rapid Recovery. And what we did is we went around the country recovering refrigerant for mechanical contractors, residential contractors, DOD, maritime, demolition contractors, across the board, you name it. We got in there and recovered refrigerant as a third party. We did all the EPA documentation for them. And through that nuanced look through the industry, we end up selling that company, and it's now owned by A-Gas. But we saw, a lot of different things from scrapyard to contractor to demolition on why documentation was never getting completed as it should. So after that was sold, we sold that. We set off to solve the documentation problem. And that has to start. Typically they look at it going, hey, we just need to know where this stuff is going. And it really has to start in the field. So we wanted to start with a single source of truth where the technician in the field could use their phone. Your phone knows where you're at. It can take pictures, scan equipment, and share data. So if you get that component down, then everybody in the chain has the exact same document all the way through. And that's a regulatory requirement. And beyond that, you're going to make more money. You'll be more profitable because you're actually going to be able to take control of your refrigerant and track it and add to your bottom line.
Yeah.
So
and not be like me as a company owner and be like, wait, didn't we have 4 jugs of 407 and now we're down to 2? Or maybe I didn't buy them. Who knows?
You got it.
Yeah, right. So
I tell this all the time. I didn't know until I met the FMhero guys that I was not compliant. And I didn't know that as technicians, we need to be compliant either. Like literally, you guys, I'm talking March of last year, I found this out from these guys.
Yeah, and that came into place in 2019, and that was one of our motivators. And I remember we were both at the ESCO Institute HVACR Excellence Conference, and we were talking to the EPA individual that was there. It's like, there's no before FMhero, there was no practical way for a technician to actually be in compliance. Right. But now there is, and we made it free for the technicians, and there'll always be a free version, so that they don't have to look over their shoulder, they don't have to worry about it. Bless you, Danny.
Bless you, Danny.
Thank you. Hopefully I muted that.
And good job.
They can be in compliance for free, right? While they're they just walk up, scan the unit, enter the stuff, and they're fully compliant. They don't need to worry about it anymore. But everyone in the chain has a documentation, like the who is you. If you read the definition of who's responsible, it's everybody. and now who holds it
Individually.
yeah. And so, but it's not like a piece of paper like you hand over anymore, right? It's like it's a digital world, so everybody can have the exact same documentation. So that's FMhero. We got, if we're gonna jump over to John, I got a couple of exclusives. We haven't even announced that John's come on a team yet. We're announcing it tomorrow. So an exclusive for HVA-Chicks Coalition right there, right? And the other one is we're thinking this week, our first version of facility operations. So if you're an equipment owner, you operate facilities, that's coming out. And that's a big deal. Like we had to start with the technician because that's where you have to control it, right? And you can't do the facility side unless the contractors have a version. And so now we've gotten to the point where you can manage your own equipment as a facility operator as well. And everybody is there the same. Yeah. Everyone
I just started working for a facilities company and they could really use this. And they're massive to say the very least. So
yeah, because it's a big deal. There's not we were on a demo the other day with someone who consults with other companies who have some form of refrigerant management. And after she viewed it, she said, well, I think it's really obvious that you guys aren't necessarily software developers. You worked in the field and you took the field to the software. You designed it around the field as opposed to trying to make the software fit the industry.
Yeah. No, that's my favorite part too, for sure. All right, John. So welcome aboard, first of all. So happy to get the exclusive, as always.
Well, thanks for having me.
Can you give us just a brief bio about who you are and what you do, how you got here?
Where do I even start? It's, fun fact, actually, Les at the ripe age of 21, Les drugged me into the refrigerant industry, kicking and screaming. He was my first boss. Shoot, when was that? What, 2000?
2000? Yeah.
So we sat down. He kind of explained this thing called refrigerant and recovery and all these things. And it was like just drinking from a fire hose, and I kind of go back on that. I'm like, that's probably what a lot of our clients feel like, whether it be like contractors or end users, equipment owners, they kind of feel like that fire. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
this is gibberish.
Yep. So Les really laid it on me back then and kind of drug me in, and I've been hooked ever since. It's just one of those industries that you're just, you just either love it or you really hate it, or you really deal with it, I guess. And I really loved it. I took to the idea of creating solutions for the local HVAC guy all the way up to the national, whoever, if you're dealing with refrigerant, we wanted to provide solutions. So we worked together for a long time. We started franchises with Rapid Recovery, coming from refrigerant management service. Dealt with the compliance back then and how we were going to solve for a lot of those recovery bottle issues and what we're going to do for there. We had an on-site service back then. We drove these big Isuzu flatbed trucks with half tons in the back, recovering R22. It was in the R22 12 days. 410 was just coming online back then, and everybody was, I don't know if you remember this, you guys, but they're like, oh, we're gonna have to keep our recovery bottles in the ice chests, because it's so high pressure, it's gonna explode.
So high pressure.
Yeah, right. I mean, it was all the rage back then. So from that iteration all the way through, I rejoined Les when A-Gas took control. Les was a franchise owner for the Southwest in Arizona.
Yeah. And
we kind of partnered back up and said, let's do this again for Arizona. And we did a good job. We brought more solutions for Arizona and really dove right in. And the first thing we did is kind of prepared for that new 608, right? That new 608 ruling in 2019. And Les and I just hit the pavement. We went out and we did a bunch of lunch and learns, breakfast and learns. I think I gained like 40 pounds. We're just eating constantly and just sharing information that nobody really even knows about, And so we did that. And then shortly after, I joined A-Gas on the A-Gas side. the refrigerant side of the business. I left the rapid recovery in very capable hands on that side, and I went into the A-gas side, specifically food retail, and did their first food retail national program. And the solution then was, how can we take like the recovery solution and the new gas solution and the buyback solution, because it's all commodity. We're trying to keep the molecules in our HVA-CR economy.
Yeah, and they're one of the only widespread national companies that actually pays for refrigerant. Like
absolutely. Well, there's a lot of really good reclaimers out there. We got Hudson out there. We've got A-gas out
here. Here we only have A-gas. Everybody else will gladly take your refrigerant, but they won't pay you for it.
gladly. And really the idea was, how can we, along those solution driven motives, how can we bring all of that together? And we did that at a food retail level. Super proud of that. We had some really, really powerful players involved, and we made that concept into a reality. And then going in with Les and I have always been in contact, and when he and Adam Dykstra and Rodney, they all came together with this great solution. It's called FMhero, because FMhero really is, documentation is everything. I mean, whether you're talking about a little refrigerator with less than a pound in it, or a chiller at a nuclear power plant or whatever, holding 10,000 pounds, that appliance with that gas, the EPA doesn't differentiate on poundage, right? And so if you're going to put all this resource into one and protect your technicians, protect your company, protect your equipment owner, you might as well do that with the smallest refrigerant at the scrapyard. Absolutely. And so that was kind of the first thing. And there's lots of people out there trying to provide a solution, and this is FMhero and my guys over here actually made it happen, and it's a real solution with real results that actually provides what it says it's going to provide in real time. It's
and then some, and then some. FMhero is not just a solution to the refrigerant problem either. It's a solution to all documentation. Like, Adam, no, actually, I don't know if Adam was there or not. I know Les was there at the conference. You showing me about how to put into FMhero, like if a tank was leaking, like things like that. So you might have a really great refrigerant management, software, but it's not going to factor that in. And then on top of that, let me tell you how many hours of my life I've lost on mall roofs trying to find my unit and make sure it's the correct unit, and then maintaining a unit that's not the correct unit 4 times before I find the one that is. Yeah. That alone, like, even if you guys did nothing else but just gave me those geotags to where the hell my unit is, it would be worth it all day to me. But it does so many things. So I really do want to get in and talk about that. Oh, that's a great question, John. John Gantz asks, where did the name FMhero come from?
Facilities management.
I have
Facilities
never
management hero. I've never asked us that. So that's Facilities management hero. Everyone in the pipeline is involved in helping to manage that facility, whether they're using in-house technicians and staff, or they're subbing it out. So that's where it came from, and the fact that I wore a long sleeve specifically, got the FMhero on the shirt, because we have heroes that make it 100. It's 110s teens outside here in Phoenix today, right? But I'm sitting in a space that's 76 degrees, right? So they really are heroes to lifestyle, just our comfort of life, right? I totally agree. Being able to work and do that. So that's where it comes from.
I love that. So, Les, I believe that we have an announcement tonight, yet another announcement. Didn't I hear something about a giveaway?
Yeah, speaking that reminded you, huh? Right there, little swag. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. At the end of the show, there'll be 2 QR codes. If you've never downloaded FMhero, remember you can download it for free. So the download You scan the QR code, download it, create a hero name. We'll see if you do that today before midnight. We'll see everybody that's logged coming in, right? And so we'll put you in a drawing for a swag gift basket, right?
And when I say their swag is the best swag, I absolutely mean it. 100%.
Just don't get an extra large shirt.
Yeah, we'll throw. Are you going to throw that pick up, Danny? Or no? No, not tonight.
No.
All right. Well.
All right, Les. What about the second part of it?
The second one, if
they already have FMhero,
right? You've already downloaded. You got a hero name. Just go ahead and scan the other QR code. That's my contact information. Send me an email saying John Carlson was the guest. Right. That way we know you watched it.
Hey.
And,
hey.
we'll draw out a second. We'll draw out a second winner from that list of emails.
Awesome.
How's
I love this.
I'm honored. I'm absolutely honored.
Lots of firsts for you tonight, John.
Yeah, we're rolling.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it. All right, you
and
guys.
Hey, congratulations on your honorable mention on the All-Star Award, right?
Thank you. Yeah. So
news,
Lennox did beat me as the best podcasters in the world, apparently.
But they paid for that. They paid for that.
I keep hearing this. So many people are like, how much did that cost? But yeah, and then I guess I'll do an announcement too, because it's not actually going to be released till October 6th when that issue comes out. And that's because it's aligned. They're aligning it with the Women in HVACR conference. Oh. So basically your girl is one of the top women in HVAC for 2025. So
of course you are.
So they're going to parade me across the stage with a bunch of other girls for the night. Should be great.
Lennox gave him a free pallet of 454. That's how they won.
You can't find it. I'd give them that award too if they had it.
I mean, listen, if they logged it, we'd be able to know where it went.
If they didn't put it in their unit, let's be real. Thank you, Oz. Oz, actually, you guys, Osvaldo Acosta, he's one of our international students, and he's the one that nominated me. He's the one that actually got me the nomination, which is really cool. So thanks, Oz.
Awesome.
All right, guys, I got to roll out of here. Unfortunately, I'm only a halfie tonight, so I have got to go, but I'm going to leave you guys with a commercial right now, and I'm going to leave you guys with Danny, and Mr. Jimmy Hesbach, HVAC teacher, is going to take my place right on here in just a minute. All right, guys, we're going to remove you to the back, run a commercial. I'm going to run away to the woods and the wilderness, and Jimmy's going to pop on. So I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. Oops, us too.
Cielo Wi-Fi thermostats are the HVA-Chicks choice for all your mini split and conventional split needs. If you're not sure which Wi-Fi thermostat to choose Cielo.
Oh,
and we're back.
Welcome back.
She put me on, took me off, put me on, took me off. Thanks, Jen.
Welcome, Jimmy.
Hey,
hello,
Jimmy.
hello. I've been sitting here watching on my phone, and then I decided to put y'all on my TV.
Ooh. God, look at the glare on that forehead.
Look at that.
Wow. I got to do something about that.
That's the way everybody should watch the show.
That's why I have my camera cutting off the top there, Danny. Right there, right?
That's why that side of the room is kind of dark and I have the light on, so you don't see the glare off my head.
It's all about the lighting.
That's it. The lighting, the camera angles. That's it.
Right.
Hey, that Testo tool is pretty cool looking. That new one, what was it? The 860i? That looked pretty cool.
860i, yep.
Yeah,
That's going to be their new thermal imager coming out. It looks to be really awesome. Can't wait to see the videos.
Yeah, that'd be great to see. I can't wait to join that one.
Yeah. So Jen left us with a few questions. I mean, I'd love to hear your guys' answer from it. So what is FMhero? What exactly is it?
So refrigerant management platform. That's what it is at its core and what it's designed around. But, in order to manage, what we found out going through it, in order to manage refrigerant, you need to be able to manage a lot of other stuff, right? You need to be able to take control of your assets. You need to take control of your recovery cylinders and your disposables. You need to be able to, it's hard to track your refrigerant if you can't track your cylinders. It's hard to know, even assets within your building. How do you know where all your refrigerants at if you don't know what assets you have and appliances that are holding the refrigerant and how much charge is in them? So as we got more and more into it, it solved a whole lot of other problems, and it became a whole lot more holistic, even though what we thought going into it.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where I work at, we have a storage room that has nothing but all the spare tanks of refrigerant in there. So we got, the 410A, the 454, the 32.
The who knows what.
Dare I say 22, some 407, 408, because we do refrigeration as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to keep paper logs, of course, at my company. So with FMhero, because I've downloaded, I just haven't gotten much into it because I'm trying to convince my boss to get onto FMhero and get the company on it, which takes away our paper logs and have a digital log, which is a lot easier. So if the company has the FMhero account with all those extra tanks there, are we able as technicians to pull out of that stack of refrigerant, or is that not able to?
No, absolutely you can. Yeah, cylinders can be transferred. So you would just you'd scan that cylinder. If it's already scanned into the system and it's sitting in their shop, they just transfer that to you, or you would take it, right? And then it would show a record that you grabbed that cylinder and now it's in your inventory. And then you go out to a job site and it shows everything that Jimmy did with that cylinder while he had it. And if he drops it back off, or maybe we're on a job site and you're like, hey, Les, this recovery cylinder is full. Could you take it back? Or this one's empty because I just charged it. Had new refrigerant in it. Are you going to the shop? Because that's out of my way. Can you take it? Yeah. Then you would just transfer that to me. It would document that. I'd take it to the shop, drop it off, transfer it back to the shop. And now there's a digital record of you picking it up at the shop, everything you did with it while you had it in your possession, a record of you transferring it to me, and a record of me transferring it back to the shop. So you can actually, from your boss's point of view, he can go on his team, the team platform, which is a contractor version, and see the inventory on every technician's truck. Not just what cylinders they have, but how much refrigerant is in each cylinder, right? And you can actually see what cylinders, like if it was a recovery cylinder, you'd see each individual unit that got recovered in that cylinder, what day it was, what unit went into it, what type of refrigerant it was. Same thing on the charge side. As you're charging refrigerant out, you're going to see those records on the refillable tanks when they're charging out into systems. You're going to see what system it went into each time you do it. So
does it show you actual geolocation and everything, or just
the cylinders aren't geolocated? It's going to show in this case, it would be in Jimmy's inventory, or it would be in my inventory, right?
Gotcha.
Now, if I do a charge event and I charge out of a cylinder, right now I'm logging that. Now it shows where I'm at, and that's real time. As soon as you complete that service, it's showing up in the office on the web platform. Oh, that cylinder just dropped 8 pounds. They're going to see that live. They can see the adjustments made as you charge units, or as you recover into cylinders, they're going to see that live as well. So that's one of the really cool things about it too, is it's bringing all the information over real time, as fast as the internet will carry it. You can take pictures, media, send it. Let's say you're in an area where you don't have internet. You can still do all the stuff and then send it up once you have signal. You can take a picture of the nameplate and you can scan that nameplate. Now you got to put your geolocation is no longer right. So you got to hand enter the address, right? Unless you've been there before and it's already in the system. That's the thing. Once you've been there and you've scanned it the first time, it keeps track of that unit. So it knows it lives there, right? So it doesn't matter if Jimmy puts it in, then Danny goes out next time. When Danny shows up, it's going to go, is this address? We know these systems live here. Is it one of these? Oh yeah, it's this one, right? And he picks that one, works on it. No, it's none of these. And he adds one in there. And it continually, the way this works is every time someone uses FMhero at a location, the data gets better. It gets updated automatically for everybody, for the technicians, for the contractor, for the facility manager who owns that equipment. The technician is constantly being updated, or the information is constantly being updated. So it's like this self-cleaning system that brings everything current each time someone goes out and uses the platform, and it makes it for everybody.
All right, next question. So we have, let's say we're on a facility. We don't have any refrigerant going into the equipment. Can I go on to FMhero and go tag that equipment into there without adding a refrigerant? So that way people can do that as well.
You could just go, hey, when you're there, I want you to scan the equipment and just, let's say you got I was watching one of Jen's other radio shows. She was talking about the vacuum, right? The process of the vacuum. It takes what it takes, right? There's no system. It takes a while. You could literally go around and start adding units in just to have them in the database without doing anything to them. You don't have to do a service event at all. You can just start adding assets to your facility.
And geotag them at the same time?
Correct. Yeah,
it's so funny because there's so many people out there with millions of dollars of equipment on rooftops, and they have no idea what they even have, you know. And so they're like, "Hey, go up there with a notebook and write down serial, make, model, serial number, charge." We've seen this from the biggest companies to the smallest rooftops. I mean, just that little part, like Jen was saying, is just a game changer.
It's interesting. I used to do a lot of demolition job walks, and so I'd be going through these. There's no power there, right? And you're walking through, and you got this flashlight, and you're shining up against the pillars. Where am I at? What's the closest? My AA24 or my Z24, right? And you're trying to figure out what's the closest one, and so you mark the closest pillar. If I had this back then, I could just go and scan the unit and then pinpoint it where I was standing, and go from there, right? As opposed to trying to get pillars and what numbers are on the pillars because it's a 3.5 million square foot plant.
Yeah.
Right.
All the way down to drinking fountains, right?
All the way down to drinking fountains.
Yeah.
So Josh wants to know if there's a cost for it.
Yeah. Well, the free version for technicians, like I said, there'll always be a free version just for a technician to use. A Teams version for contractors is $25 a month per tech who's using a phone. There's no admin fee. So if you figure $300 a year per tech who's got a phone out in the field, that's the cost to use the system. So if you take that, right, I'm a technician, I'm using a phone in the field, it costs the company $25 a month for me to do that. What's the cost of refrigerant right now? High. So if I say that if I'm better at tracking just 1 pound, right? I've already made the company money. Like all we got to do is track 1 pound. If you lose a pound that you're selling, right, it's way more than that, right? And then the recovered side, it has value as well. So just by getting better, and that's the thing, right? There's this regulatory component that nobody likes to talk to about, but it's real, and that is a big deal. And people if they understood it, they'd lose sleep at night. I'll leave that there. Let's move to the positive side. Let's move to the profitability side. Let's move to the refrigerant. Take control of your refrigerant, track it, and you'll be more profitable. It doesn't take a lot of refrigerant increases and control to pay for $25 a month per tech, right? It's $300 a year. You're gonna make money using this. Then you cut down on the time of trying to find the right unit and having that system updated and in the system. That's a time savings, and you're gonna be more profitable with that.
Now, I think that scales depending on how big of a company you are too, right?
Yeah, if you have a large organization, then there's certain things we can do with lowering that tech cost based on volume. But I also want to say this, there's no administrative fee. So as many people in the office, you want to have access to that platform, there's no charge for that. No cost at all.
Okay. Let's see. Josh wants to know, how do you monitor per tech versus company to make sure that they pay?
There are different subscriptions. Maybe I don't understand the question.
Josh, what do you mean by that? So
I think I understand what Josh wants. Like, so Danny's my boss. He has the company, but I'm a technician, and I'm using this by myself without the company. It's free for me, correct?
Yep. There's a bells and whistles platform that's $15 a month for technicians. Lets you see unit history, gets you some web access, things like that. But yes, as a technician, you can use it absolutely free. So if Danny's your boss and he gets a Teams and he adds you to it, now you're still using it for free. Danny's paying for you to use it.
Thank you, Danny.
You're cut off. Use the free
Free
version.
to you.
Right. So here's the
Chuck
important
is free
thing,
too.
right? Whether your employer is paying for it or not, you're signing up under a personal email. All right, because it's your data. You're required on units between 5 and 50 pounds to maintain your own personal records, right? So you have to be able to do that. So that data stays there's no invoicing on this. There's no money tied to it. It doesn't mean the tech gets to see the customer name and things like that, right? But it shows all the refrigerant, all the regulatory stuff, so that if Jimmy leaves Danny's company, then that information that he needs, then he's like, all right, right, then you still have access to that data that you need to have. And you don't have to go back to Danny and go, hey man, something just happened to this other job site. I need that data from, 18 months ago when I was out there. And Danny's like, I'm not giving it to you. Right. I got things to do. I'm busy. I don't have time to go back and try to find that. So both parties get what they need from a regulatory standpoint and documentation standpoint. Does that clarify that?
I think it clarifies.
I think that's what he was asking.
Okay.
And I think if I remember correctly, one time you were talking about, so if we geotag the equipment, say like we're on a mall rooftop and there's so much equipment up there, and I'm up there working and I can see, I'm going through looking at my geotag and I see a geotag of another piece of equipment, I can go, let me see what the equipment, who has this equipment, or I can see the history of that equipment.
You'll see the history. You won't see the contractor unless it's part of your team managed systems. You won't see the contractor or the technician who did the work. Right now, so the facility platform that's coming out, you're managing a facility, you get to see all of that because it's your equipment. So, I had XYZ company doing these types of systems on my place, and this company's doing these types, and I have in-house people do it. You get to see all of that because it's your equipment. So you know who was out there and who you had on it. But at a teams level or a tech level, you don't get access to that level of information, right? That would be problematic. So we protected and shielded that. But yeah, you could go up to a rooftop and be working on a system and you might see 50 other systems up there, 100, whatever, that are all in there. And maybe 30 different contractors have put them in there, right? You'll be able to see on a paid subscription, you'll be able to see the history of those units for anyone that was doing it in FMhero on the platform. But you don't see pricing. You don't see the company. You don't see the technician name. You just know that someone has entered it and done work in the platform.
You just see the equipment history pretty much, not who did anything with it.
Correct.
Which in turn is good because all of us as technicians know out there, we all go behind other companies doing work on stuff, and say company A did the work on this thing and the contractor wasn't happy with the way company A did, so company B comes in, they do the work. Now they can say, okay, this unit's had X amount of pounds of Freon put into it. And if you look at the EPA standards, it says, okay, well, this much refrigerant loss says now if it happens again, you do repair versus replace. And now you can go, hey, well, you've already had this much added to that system. We need to figure out which way you want to go with this.
Right.
So it also helps out, I believe it helps out other companies and other technicians. And so you're not wasting the company's money in Freon, dumping into a system that's already leaking, that's known to leak, but the customer's playing, it's never leaked before when it has.
And you going, no, it actually has, and we're not going to play the game with you. Yeah, absolutely. It does solve that, right?
That never happens though.
No.
Never. But I think that actually leads into the question that John had asked. He said, what happens if a system is replaced? Does the geotag transfer or does it have to get a new one?
No, you would just, here's the thing, right? This is a really cool part of the platform. So you're going to uninstall the old piece of equipment, right? So we got a whole thing through, let's say you're going to scrap it, right? You could also reinstall it. Maybe a company wants to put a new piece of equipment here and take that one that's not so bad and move it to a location. You can do that too. You can relocate it. And then in the system, it just lives at a different location. So if you replace a unit, right, you pull it off, you put the new one on, you scan it, you're there. It's like, okay, just verify this information. Does this unit live here now? Yes. And where's this other unit going? And then you tell it, and then it lives in the system in its new location. Let's say it's going to scrap, just because I like this part. It goes to scrap, right? Gets to the scrap yard, you do all the paperwork, that unit is officially scrapped. It goes into unit purgatory. That's where it lives now, right? It's out of sight, out of mind. But the scrap guy goes, hey, I'm building this casita for my mother-in-law, and this system's not that bad. I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in over there, right? So it never gets scrapped. It gets put out at this casita. A couple years later, someone goes out to work on it. They scan it and it goes, hey, the system recognizes it. It says, oh, you must have got out of purgatory. Do you live here now? And you go verify the information. And now it takes all that unit history and just puts it at that location.
Wow.
That's it. So when we were testing here, and I was on a roof in Scottsdale, Arizona, and one of the units we looked at had a Miami-Dade County from Florida sticker on it. It was on a medical building, right? Why they shipped a 5-ton system from Florida to here to put on a building, I have no idea, but they did. But if it was an FMhero, if someone in Florida had been working on that unit in Florida, and then it showed up here, the system would have said, oh, is this where you live now, right? Just verify this information. Okay, you live here now, but all the history would have carried forward from Florida, where it lived out there. The address, all the service history would be there. It just now lives at a different location. So it's using your phone to geolocate where the location is. It's not that the systems themselves are tagged, right? But it identifies by that serial number. And we all know too, right, that there's systems out there, you can't read this freaking OEM plate. It's not possible, right? They've been painted over, right? So we have a whole thing there, and there's a tutorial series of videos in the support section inside the app. They're all like 3 to 5 minutes. And word to the wise, the first 25 seconds is the same on all of them. So you can just skip that after you watch the first one. But it'll show you how to create a unique ID for a unit. And then that unit lives in our system under that unique ID. Now you need the other stuff to get parts and things like that. But under our system, that is now how that unit is identified, because that's what the EPA requires, a unique identifier. Industry standard is use serial number. That makes a lot of sense, make model serial. But you can do it other ways.
Yeah,
so we solved
unless you play with Mitsubishi, who likes to recycle serial numbers.
Yeah, that gets tricky. But if it comes up, if there's a matching serial number, then you go through the created unique ID process.
Yeah,
right. You can always create it, and then it lives in the system that way, and it goes through the process on how to do it and what you need to do at the unit to make sure that everyone else coming in recognizes it that way.
Gotcha. Let's see. I think Jason had a question somewhere up here too. Here we go. So Jason asks, he's got a corp, has about 996 restaurants, and he manages 106 in the region. Can you also track walk-ins and regions? Yeah,
it's just an appliance. So you scan it, and put it in the system. Give us the address. Verify the address is right, and it's in the system right there. And you track all your work history in the platform. So it doesn't matter what type of appliance it is, whether it's a chiller, a walk-in, dehumidifier, anything. There's some transformers out there that got refrigerant in it. You do those too.
Yep.
Wow, nice.
Josh has got a question here. If you want to pull it up, I'm just reading it because I can't see the comments unless I go into it. It says, let's say there's 50 techs in a company and 25 techs are using a free version. Shouldn't they pay as a team level?
The contractor pays the team level. So if there's 50 techs and 25 of them using for free, then yeah, the company should pay for all 50 to use the platform, because that's the only way they're going to have all the information that they need to have. And now those 25 that were using the free version, it doesn't matter to them. They're just now part of a team as opposed to operating solo. Gotcha. Does that make sense? Right? You're just going, like, if we were there and John and Jimmy were using it and I wasn't, right? And Danny's the boss, because we've designated him the boss today. And he comes in and he goes, all right, we're going to do this, but we're only going to pay for less. That's silly, right? Because he's not getting any of the information that you guys have because you're not part of his team. So he's going to pay for all three of us to use it so that he gets all the data as part of his team. And there's plenty of there's lots of permissions you can put into on, who can do what within. Maybe Les isn't allowed to transfer or swap cylinders with people for whatever reason, right? There's a bunch of permissions you can do. That's just getting in. Some of this stuff would be, do a demo with us and we'll go through the whole process with you.
And it's available on all platforms: iPad, Android, iPhone.
Yep, and tablets, which is the Z Fold, the dual screen phones. They run as tablets, so that's available now as well.
Okay. Now, is FMhero going to integrate, like, either do they have it now or are they planning on anything in the future that you can talk about for like House Call Pro, Service Titan, anything like that?
So what I would say is we've had discussions with several of them, and all acknowledge that this is something they don't do well, and there's interest. So then you define integration. What is it? How deep of an integration? What do you want it to look like? You just want it to be part of your, right? So what I would say answer to that is I wouldn't be expecting anything soon because these things take time. But I would also say that we're open to conversations with all of them to put it in, because none of those are tracking refrigerant, right? They might track a can of refrigerant, like a capacitor, but they don't track refrigerant.
Yeah, ours, I mean, I work in the warehouse for the company that I'm at. So I kind of brought up your guys' program to them. I wore the shirt. They scanned the barcode. I told them kind of disregard the front on the bottom. But they were looking like in our software, we can say, hey, we used 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds. And like, we're able to kind of track where it goes from the warehouse out to the techs, but we lose it at that point.
Right.
So,
and here you could go log in and see how many pounds is in each cylinder on that technician's truck as they're using it. Right. So why is this cylinder coming back empty? We don't show that much refrigerant was used. Right. Why is this coming back? Why are we getting a new one? Right. So that gives you a whole nother level of being able to view. And in fact, within 2 of the reports we run is an automatic commodity adjustment versus a manual commodity adjustment. So if you got someone making a lot of manual commodity adjustments in their cylinders, that might be something you want to look into, right? But it will show, and you can see it company wide. You can see it by individual technician. So you can get all of that information. And here's the thing, you don't have to go pull a report. All the data is in there. So the reports are just in there live and whenever you want them.
Yeah, we actually just pulled most of our 454 tanks off of the truck so that they can monitor them more closely when our boss found out that they're $1,200 a tank.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, now you scan them into the system and then you put it on and you'll see every time someone uses a pound, it'll drop, it'll show it. I mean, right now.
I have a question.
Yes.
For future, since I know we have a lot of like manufacturers that have their digital scales out there, they're all Bluetooth to apps and everything else. Are y'all looking at trying to create a Bluetooth where it'll Bluetooth to the scales so you can get an accurate count? Because I know for me, when we charge the system up, we charge it by the pound. So if I put in 4.5 pounds, I'm marking down 5 pounds on my chart.
Mm-hmm. We've had a couple conversations, a couple tool companies who have that technology, and we're talking about being able to have that that information auto-populate the field within the app. Right. So the scale reading, the scale drop, whatever information you want to put in there, it auto-populates into the app. So that again, it's kind of like integration, right? Everyone's focused on their core, and then it's about how do we get the people behind the scenes to make those things come in and make it seamless, right? Those are exciting things. We're excited to have those conversations. We have had them about how, because that just makes it easier too, right? It eliminates one more thing you have to do manually. It's just talking to it. But it's not there yet.
No more fish scale.
That's right. That's right.
Guilty.
So,
I think I still have mine.
Yeah. The other thing that's
if we really
exciting
want to go
under
old school, charge arrestor.
An old school charge arrestor? Like the dial-a-charge?
Yep.
Like for the those things I get confused just looking at them. A really cool feature we're working on equipment is being able to tie. So if you have systems with multiple evaporators on them, right? You can tie them all back to that same system. So now you know which ones are tied to which condensing unit or rack in a refrigeration system, which cases come back to this rack, which cases come back to this rack. So we're not there yet, but that's in development where you can tie all the components back to its source of. That makes sense?
Yep.
So that'll be a really cool feature to be when we get that component added. You can already add multiple circuits, just as many as, you just keep adding circuits to a system because they're separate appliances. So you can do that now.
Okay. I think Matty was a little late to the podcast. So we'll pop his question up. He said, how does the app accommodate for differences in charge amounts from cylinder to cylinder?
From cylinder to cylinder. Define it better for me.
I was going to say, I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about too, Matt.
I'm glad. I mean,
so you got to use 2 drums to charge up 1 unit. It takes 30 pounds.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
Okay.
You select one cylinder and you charge X amount into that, and you select another cylinder and you charge a certain amount out of that, and then you're done. It takes the appropriate amount out of each cylinder. Maybe you use the full cylinder on one and a third of the cylinder on the other. That's what it's going to show. This cylinder got emptied here. I took this much out, and then I went into this cylinder. Or maybe for whatever reason you wanted to use 2 cylinders, so you did. And it takes the appropriate amount out of each cylinder because you're going to select which cylinder you're going to charge with. So if you're going in and it's going to take 3 cylinders to charge, right? You're going to select 3 cylinders, and then it's going to digitally move that refrigerant into the system and take it all out of it. So it's not like you have to go back and do a multi-step process either. So, and you can do the same thing. This is a little outside of, what we're talking about right now, but in the world that John and I come from, we consolidated cylinders all the time. So I could take, right, he mentioned half tons, right? I could take 4 200-pound cylinders, grab them, put them all in a batch, and then transfer that refrigerant into a 1,000-pounder, and it shows that transfer of each of those cylinders, right? Just like that. Into that specific cylinder, it shows each one of this serial number with this serial number, this cylinder with that serial number, or so on, went into this one cylinder with this serial number, and it documents all that so you know where it goes.
Yeah.
I think he followed up to that question saying, do you have to weigh each cylinder to figure the actual amount in each cylinder?
Well, yeah, you would have to know, how much that's how you know how much you put in.
Yep. There
right?
you go. He gave an example.
Yeah.
For example, you have a circuit that needs 50 pounds of R410A. That would typically, you would mean 2 cylinders.
Yep. So you would, as you were doing the charge of it, you'd say, hey, I want to charge 50 pounds. It'll filter for you automatically. It'll only show you what 410A you have available. And then you'd select the cylinders. Let's say you didn't have 2 full cylinders. Let's say you had 3 with 20 pounds each in them, right? You'd select 2 with 20 pounds, and then you'd select 10 out of the other one, and it would move that refrigerant out. It would empty 2 and leave 1 with 10 pounds in it.
Does the math for you.
Does the math for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Listen, on our facilities one, we're doing leak rate loss math. We're doing exceedance. Hey, you're in exceedance, right? This unit has a leak rate of this. It's keeping a track and showing a percentage of the leak loss per this equipment right on the dashboard when you show it. And if you're managing a facility, if a technician, Jimmy, goes out and adds refrigerant to a system and it puts that unit into exceedance, then on the platform, as the equipment owner, you're going to get a notification. Hey, this unit, by the way, is in exceedance as of today. And now you get to have that conversation about what are we going to do with this unit?
It's so easy a caveman can do it.
Easy
There
button.
you go. There you go. Love it, Jimmy. John, you got something?
No, I just highlighting the obvious that, you know, I kind of hinted on it a little bit before, how documentation is just the foundation of everything that we do. I mean, we kind of have a tagline, right? Track it, control it, and then we profit, right? And so it's so easy to focus on the negative. Oh, I'm going to get charged so many EPA fines per day, per equipment, blah, 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 right? That's so easy to focus on the negative. But when we talk about the positives of what this actually brings, the value that this brings into each, not only protection of the everyday technician. I remember when the 608 stuff was coming out, I was like, this isn't on the contractor anymore. It's with the guy carrying the EPA card, right? And he's taking on all that liability, all that responsibility. And I just said back then, I'm starting, you know, if anybody gets a letter, I'm starting that GoFundMe right away. You know, we're gonna come together. We're gonna, you know, because the reality is this is the livelihood of the individuals, you know, and it's important to protect from you know, if we're a company owner and we have a responsibility to our technicians, and as technicians, as 608 holders, we are responsible for our own careers and our families. I mean, this is serious. But I mean, if we look at just the profit value of it, I had a real quick story. You guys have time for a real quick story?
Yeah,
I do.
Bring it.
Sweet. You know, we're kind of going around and talking about how documentation can work for contractors, right? And there's this really young service manager. He just got drug in by the field, and he was kind of trying to figure everything out. And this is way back in rapid recovery days. And one thing that we offered was documentation when we did recoveries from on-site recovery, right? So we'd show what serial numbers came out, you know, how much pounds, the type, all that good stuff. And this was at the height of those high R22 commodity buybacks. I mean, I think we hit like, what was our highest? Like $21 a pound, I think, for R22 in Arizona anyway. It got crazy. So it was funny because this young service manager was trying to put all this together, and we got him on the program. And I think in a few months, he was seeing all the return, because in their the workflow, it was, hey, pick up fresh cylinders, drop off your old cylinders. And he could see it month after month. And all he was getting back was 410, 410, 410, 410, 410. He's like, I know I had 20 R22 calls. Like, I know we had these service events with R22, but all I'm getting back is 410, you know? And so we can't emphasize enough how important tracking is, and controlling your product. Because it's just like a guy selling copper out of the back of his truck to the scrap yards. I mean, the refrigerant carries real value. It's a real commodity. And the sooner we can take control of that as business owners, and it just provides a better health throughout the whole economy of HVCR. And I'm excited about it. It's really neat.
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Because we have this talk internally about, you know, the regulations are the regulations. Regardless of where the regulations go, FMhero has the documentation already, right? So what do you need to what do you need to document? It's already built in, right? So regardless where it goes, FMhero has that covered. But part of us, we talk, like, people might be even more excited about it if it wasn't for the regulatory side, because they'd just be seeing the profit side as opposed to the, oh, I'm being forced to do this over here, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to make money if you're tracking your refrigerant properly. It's too expensive not to track it.
100%.
And so if you just, and that's why we like to focus a lot. Yeah, there's a regulatory component. And guess what? If you get engulfed in that, it's going to hurt your profitability, right? But
Great point.
you can avoid all of that and be more profitable just by taking control of your refrigerant management.
So I think John asked a good question, because I was going to also ask the same. He wants to know, how can he get the information to his company? Is there any kind of promo videos that we can show how it works, or other than getting you guys for like a sit down, is there something that we can show them?
Yeah. So what I would do is we obviously we have commercials on YouTube, things like that you can go to, but download the free version, go through the tutorial videos, use it in the field, and then go to your boss and say, check this out, right? And watch these tutorial videos on how easy it is and what it does. Get them interested with that. Without getting us directly involved. And I understand that you want to kind of, softball pitch it in there, right? As opposed to fastball high and tight, right? So, but yeah, download the app, start using, go through the tutorial so you have a good understanding of what it does and how it's working in the field for you, and then show them that and say, hey, just look at the inventory on my truck I'm able to keep track of, right? The trick there is you have to use it so that when you show them, it actually makes sense to them. Like, you can be the test case. If you use it, implement it in your daily routine, you can be the test case and go, look what I'm doing, and look how tight this is and all the information I have available to me.
Be the guinea pig, John. Be the guinea pig.
So how does anybody reach you guys if they wanted to reach out to you for more information? How can they get a hold of you?
FMhero.com is the website. Les.Reinard at FMhero.com is my email. You can get a hold of me on my phone, 623-734-4376. I think we're gonna show a QR code, so you don't have to really write that. Just scan the QR code and shoot me an email. John's email is basically the same. It's john.carlson@fmhero.com. So if you want to talk to John, because I've done all the talking today, then reach out to him.
You did such a good job too.
And
your internet at wherever you are is pretty stable.
Yeah, it's actually working. I changed locations just to see, and it worked. So happy about that.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you guys for being on and giving us all the information.
You bet. Are you gonna throw those QR codes up, or?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll throw the QR codes up. I'll leave them up for a few minutes before I hit end, so that everybody can scan and do what they got to do to enter for the giveaway.
Okay.
And thank you guys
and
for coming.
Are we gonna keep bantering, or are you gonna shut us down?
Well, if I put the QR codes up, it's going to cover all of us. So
sometimes that's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing at all.
Not at all.
All right.
Jamie.
Hey, Danny, I'll repost that picture to my LinkedIn so that everyone knows what we're talking about. How's that? That be all right?
Did they fix that?
No. That would require a new order.
Or a smaller size. I'm working on that.
That was fantastic. Well, always
Cool.
a good
Excellent.
time with you guys. So appreciate you having us on and you chatting with us for a bit.
Sounds
No
good.
problem.
Thanks, guys.
Glad to come in and fill in for Jen in the second half, and enjoy listening and talking with y'all.
Thank you very much.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys.
Yep.
Danny, Jimmy, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
thanks,
you.
John. All right, so we're going to put up the QR code just for a few minutes here so you guys can scan and enter in to have a chance to win at their giveaway. All right, guys. Other than that, have a good night.
Thank you, everyone.